Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be making another soup for soup season. Today's soup is going to be a broccoli cheddar soup. So I'm hoping this one will taste somewhat like the Panera bread one. That one is so good, especially if you get it in a bread bowl. I'm not gonna be doing the bread bowls today, but we are going to be making the broccoli cheddar soup. So let's get started. First, you turn the burner on. Then you're going to need some sort of oil for sautéing the veggies. I'm gonna be using some avocado oil, but you can use olive oil or even butter. And for the veggies at first, you are gonna add some onion, celery, and chopped up carrots. And we're gonna just mix that together until it is getting nice and soft. Here's how it's coming along. The carrots have really started to dye our onions orange. It almost looks like I added turmeric to it. Okay, now that that is almost done, I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. You don't want to add this too early or it will burn, so I'm just going to cook it for about 1 minute and then go on to the next steps. Okay, that is looking good and the garlic is getting quite fragrant, so it is time to move on to my next step. It is time to add your seasonings. I'm going to be using some Cajun seasonings just because I want to give the soup a tiny bit of a kick, and this will help. I'm also gonna be using pepper jack cheese for some of it too. Just add your seasonings. You can use just like garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, whatever you have, but I love this Cajun seasoning. I use it all the time as like an all-purpose seasoning. It works really nice for that. And then you are also going to want to add a 1/4 cup of flour just to help thicken everything up when I add in my chicken broth. I'm going to stir this all together, and you want to make sure all your veggies are coated. And I'm going to stir it for about 1 to 2 minutes to make sure all that flour gets cooked off and you're not tasting the flour then. So it'll kind of clump together quite well when it's all coated in the flour. Now I'm going to slowly start pouring in my broth. I don't want to pour it in all at once because I don't want that flour to break. So this will help keep it thicker. Also make sure you're getting all the little pieces that are stuck to the bottom of the pot as you're pouring in this. And just pour in the rest. Okay, that is looking good. It is definitely liquidy, but it's not crazy. Now you're going to want to add your broccoli, and then you're going to wait for this to simmer and then allow the broccoli to cook until it is tender. Once it comes up to a simmer, it should only take about 8 to 9 minutes. So I'm just gonna keep an eye on this, and then I will show you what it should be looking like. Before it comes to a simmer, it's looking like this. It is just starting to simmer. Broccoli is all done cooking, so it is time to add the rest of the ingredients. The broccoli is done, so it is time to finally start adding the dairy parts. So the first thing I need to do is add in some milk. I have 2 cups of milk, and you want to add this in slowly. And I turned off the heat as I'm doing this because I do not want it to curdle. It's very hard to stir with your non-dominant hand. There's that. Give that a good mix. And then for my cheeses, I have 3 different types, and one is a little bit new. I've never done this before, but I read somewhere that it's really good if you add some cottage cheese. If you blend it up so you get all of the chunks out, it will make it nice and creamy, and it will also add a bit of more protein in it. And so I blitzed it up in my blender, and now I'm just gonna add that in. We'll see how this works out. I've never done this before. And if you don't like cottage cheese, you can just skip this step completely and just add more cheddar cheese. It's looking good. Mix that up. And that should also make it a little more creamy too. And then finally, I'm going to add in about a cup of pepper jack and a cup of my cheddar cheese. And I'm gonna save some cheddar cheese to top it off with as well. So first I'm gonna add my pepper jack. And just sprinkle that all around. And then again, I'm hoping the pepper jack gives it a tiny bit of a kick. And then a cup of cheddar cheese. There we go. And I am going to continue to stir this until it is completely incorporated. It is looking and smelling amazing. And it's definitely thickening up now that I've added the cheese too. Okay, that is all mixed in. So now the last step of this is to blend some of it up and to make it extra creamy. This is an optional step, and also if you have a immersion blender, that would work great. It'd actually probably be easier than putting it into this and then having to transfer it in and out, but this is all I have. So I'm going to take my ladle and just scoop in a few cups of soup. This will make it so some of it is creamy, but it will still have some of the chunks from the vegetables. Okay, I'm gonna do about that much. It's almost at the 75. Put that in, put the lid on, there we go. And we're gonna get it started. Okay, that is looking good. I'm gonna just take the lid off. Ugh, these are always such a pain to get off. Wait a minute. Oh, there it goes. So once it is all blended, then we're just gonna pour it back in and then give it one last little stir. That is looking great, so it is time to dish it up and give it a try. Okay, I am all ready for a taste test. One last little stir around. Looking amazing. Smells really good too. And then I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of cheddar cheese on top. And there we have it, broccoli cheddar soup. This is looking incredible. Here's what it's looking like up close. Okay, let's give it a try. That's really good. It has a ton of flavor. I love all the textures from the broccoli and carrots, celery, and onion. You can definitely feel that in there. If you wanted it to be smoother, you could really just blend it all, but I do like it to have some texture in it, so this is the perfect amount that I like to have in it. I didn't overcook the broccoli either. I don't like it when broccoli gets really mushy, and this is the perfect texture for it. I'm very happy. It's hard to do with soups to get it so it doesn't get mushy, but this turned out great. The cheesy flavor in it's also wonderful, and it does have a slight kick because of that Cajun seasoning and the pepper jack cheese that I put in. And the cottage cheese that I put in it, you can't taste it at all. So if it's healthy, I mean, I don't know how much it actually added to the dish, but it turned out fine, and it's definitely really creamy. I didn't even add any salt and pepper to this yet, and I don't think I even need to because it gets the saltiness from the cheese, and then also that Cajun seasoning that I put in it gives it enough spices that you don't really need the salt or pepper. I'm very impressed with how this turned out. I also got a couple pieces of bread to dip into my soup since I don't have a bread bowl like Panera serves. So let's give that a try. It won't absorb in as much as like some soups that are super liquidy, but yeah, it's good with bread too. Overall, I'm very happy with this addition to my soup season roster. It is fantastic, and it was pretty easy to make. I made it in less than an hour, and I will probably eat about half of it, and I will probably freeze the other half so that I can just take some out every once in a while when it's starting to get cooler, and just easily reheat it up and have an easy dinner. If you like this kind of content, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you on the next video. Really good. Perfect for this time of year.